We're going live. We're live, boys.
We're live. Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. Lim Moore here, and
Hey,
Hi.
all right, they're a little bit slow today. You know, they're not here in Dallas. If you're not in Dallas, you're a little bit slow. I'm just saying, everything is fast for us here in Texas. That's the way we roll, fast and big. But everyone else can just kind of be, a little behind. That's all right. How y'all doing today?
great. How are you, Lim?
Doing wonderful. Tracy, how are you?
I'm fabulous. Thank you.
Fabulous. Love your hair. You're looking gorgeous today. Look at you.
Yeah, not the backwards hat like last week. The rubber look.
I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. I'd like to say hello to everyone who's out there. Or is there a way they can send questions saying yes, they can hear us and all that? If you can hear us, please say yes. That would be awesome. If there's a way that we can do that. Oh, there they are. I see it. Brian, what's going on, Brian? I see Scott, Stephen, Keith, Deb. I can't call all of y'all, but hey, guys, thank you for joining us. All right. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Just bear with us just a few more moments. We're waiting for a few people to come in, more people to come in before we get down to the nitty-gritty here. Today is going to be excellent. You get your notes out. We're going to have some great content here for you. I just received an email from, let's see here. I used to be on this board, and then Tracy, you might know what it is. It's called, what is it? Mosaic Hub or something like that from LinkedIn. Are you familiar with that?
Most what?
Mosaic, what is it? Mosaic Hub? I don't know how you pronounce that. It was a community.
How do you spell
MOSAIC Hub community.
the Mosaic Hub?
Yeah. They just announced that. Unfortunately, in less than 2 weeks, LinkedIn has decided to stop allowing its members to import their profile. I was like, oh, on their site. So there's a lot of changes going on.
Wow.
I just received that email as of probably 40 minutes ago. So I was like, okay, lots of big changes are happening. So awesome. Okay, so everyone can hear us. That's great. That's great. Awesome. Bill, you locked up and ready to roll? You got everything fixed?
I'm here. We're looking good.
All right. Good. All right. So we're just going to bear with us, folks. Almost probably 60 more seconds left here, and then we'll get rolling. I hope everyone has had a productive week. It seems like things are getting better. Guess what? Christmas is around the corner. I've been singing Jingle Bells like crazy in the last week or two. I don't know why.
That's crazy.
I know.
We were buying wedding stuff today, and I don't even know what stores we were in, and there was a whole bunch of Christmas stuff already out.
Yes, it's time. It's
Not even
time.
Halloween yet.
No.
But do one holiday at a time, right?
I know. Turkey stuff's not even out yet,
Awesome.
And I'm a parent, so that sucks for me. It's like, I got to go buy Thanksgiving, Halloween, and Christmas all at the same time.
Brian, that's funny. Where's your ball cap at today, Tracy?
The ball cap is retired for the day.
He retired the ball cap. We had a little discussion on that in the last webinar.
Thanks, Brian.
I love it. All right, guys. Awesome. I guess we're going to go ahead and get started here. Once again, thank you, guys. Today we're going to talk about some very, very important stuff about LinkedIn that's going to change the way you use it. It's going to change the way that people literally is going to see you as an authority. We want you to sit back and relax and pay attention, get your notes out, because I always say note takers are money makers, but action takers rule the world. So with that being said, Tracy, let's get this thing going. Let's get it started. Guys, pay attention because this is going to be amazing. It's going to blow your mind. So take it over, Tracy.
All right. Can everybody see my screen?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
All right, so everybody, please bear with me because this is kind of like new for me to toggle back and forth from going live today and through a PowerPoint at the same time. Normally I just go live, but there was some stuff that I needed to really throw in here, and I wanted you guys to see it instead of just hear it. So, all right, so today we're going to talk about our new program, our immersion program, a little bit later, but we're calling it the LinkedIn Lure. Thanks, Bill. You did a great job coming up with that. So today, this is what we're going to do. We're going to show you how to generate leads and become the authority in your industry without you personally spending months, possibly years, depending on how much time you devote, and hours marketing daily on LinkedIn. And I'm going to just let you know that is the biggest misconception about LinkedIn is that you have to spend, 2, 3, 4 hours a day just to generate any sort of substantial income. I'm going to tell you today that you don't. Absolutely not. So my goal for all of you that are on here today, if you stay until the end, I'm going to do something really cool for you, all right? And then I'm going to give you the one tip that we forgot about last week, and you're not going to want to miss this tip because it's an advanced strategy that I probably only teach to paying clients. I do only teach to paying clients, okay? And then I'm going to actually go live and show you how this tip works. And for one lucky attendee, I will be giving away 1 hour of my time to help you with your LinkedIn marketing. Now, I normally charge about $397 for this, so you're going to want to stay until the end so you can see this tip and be the lucky one that's potentially chosen to get an hour of my time. And that will be recorded for you so that you don't have to sit there and take notes. And we all know when you take notes, a lot of times you miss stuff. So you also have a private recording for yourself as well. Very cool? Everybody ready? You like it?
Yes, that's very awesome. Good stuff there. And I'm just wondering, are you going to hook me up?
All right, so I have to share with everybody. I told Lem last week, I just skimmed through his profile, and because we had talked about, for those of you who weren't on there last week, about a couple things that I could give him tips on because he, flattery is the best. What's that saying go? The best, or whatever, copying you or something is the best form of flattery. So I went and skimmed through his profile, and I found a few things that I could, improve upon for him. Oh, I was supposed to make a video. Well, that hasn't happened yet, so he's giving me grief. So what makes me different? Well, first of all, I got to tell you guys something, and maybe you can resonate, and I don't mind getting teased because it's all in good fun, right? But I live in Kansas City, and I'm a Raiders fan. And so this last weekend, I was enjoying 2 out of the 4 of our teams on TV, and Chargers and Denver kicked butt, right? And then the Chiefs did too. But what did my Raiders do? Everybody's gloating about how they've got all this talent this year, and they're going to be totally awesome, and they lose 33-9, and in the fourth quarter, it's 33-0. So, yes, I am a Raiders fan, still true to this day, will always be a Raiders fan, and you guys can go ahead right now and say all that you want. I don't care.
The reason why the Raiders lost is because D-Mac is with the Dallas Cowboys, a real team now. All right, enough said.
I told you somebody would dig. So, anyway, what I want everybody to do right now is, because I've been on a ton of webinars, so I totally get this, is stop playing your games on King. Yes, you know who you are. Turn off your cell phone, get off of Skype, and just, get rid of all your distractions, because I don't want you guys to miss anything today. All right? Okay, so who am I? Well, that's me, a funny little picture. I can't remember what we were doing. Bill was there at the time. But this was a lot of fun, so I just had to share a fun little picture of me. But I've coached for the last over 3 years thousands and thousands of professionals on how to use LinkedIn, generate leads, and build authority, and then teach them how to create a top-of-mind awareness program. And I've taught all different industries, so just not your industry, it's a lot of different industries. 90% of my income to this date now comes from LinkedIn, and that's just not from my own marketing strategies or any of the campaigns that I'm running, I actually have people that find me because I have positioned myself as that authority, and they either refer me. So I have other members referring me, and I've never met these folks before. And then also, they will just come and they will find me organically, and they'll reach out to me. And a lot of times they'll do it through LinkedIn, but then because I have strategically placed call to actions within my profile, they'll go and pick up the phone and give me a call, or go and set an appointment immediately. And, you know, guys, you know what the old adage is, those who can't teach, or those who can't do teach. Well, those who teach can do, and I'm going to share that with you guys a little bit more today. And not last but not least, but it's very important to me, and I say this a lot, is I'm a single mom of 4 kids, 2 still left at home. I had a preteen and a teen, and I am a grandmother. So for those of you who doesn't know what nonna means, that's grandmother in Italian, and I have a birthday coming up on Sunday, and so I just don't feel like I'm old enough to be called granny or Mima or grandma or anything like that. So I'm Italian, so I chose nonna. So
I've never heard of that before.
So, and one last thing too, those who teach can do, you know, everything that I teach or I coach has been utilized by myself. That includes strategies, testing, other tools to help you automate your marketing and whatnot. So I don't teach anything that I haven't actually practiced and used myself, and what's currently working today. So I did a lot of things right, but guess what else? I've done a lot of things wrong. And I'll tell you, the first thing that I ever did wrong was when I got on LinkedIn. I think it was 2009 or 2010. Actually, you can go in and find when you join LinkedIn. But I didn't actually start using it until 2012 actively, after I went on to a free webinar of a real estate friend of mine who started talking about keyword research and getting found in the search results. And that was just optimizing the profile. This was where LinkedIn was still a little bit young, and how to use it for business as opposed to finding a job. And within the first few weeks, I got my account suspended, and I only had 60 connections. So I was told to use a tool, and that nobody would say they didn't know me or spam, you know. And so you get so many of those, LinkedIn's going to slap you. Well, they slapped me for like 5 days. They said, do it again, and we're going to slap you permanently. So you're going to be suspended permanently. So I learned how to do it the long way. It wasn't necessarily the hard way, but I was consistent with it. And by the end of December, I had had over 1,200 connections. And I did this just by spending a few minutes a day. And as of 2013, I got an email from LinkedIn, and I still currently have that email that says I was one of the top 1% of all profiles on LinkedIn for 2012. And I thought that was pretty much a really good accomplishment, having in June only 60 connections and suspended for 5 days, and then having 1,200. Pretty cool, right?
That's amazing. That's amazing.
I got to chime in too. That is really, really cool that you actually build it that way. Because when I got really excited about LinkedIn, I went on Fiverr and bought connections, and that didn't work at first.
How did that work out for you?
I got the spam thing too. They're like, all these people are saying you're spamming them, and I'm like, I don't know what to do, you know. But no, they unlocked my account again. I just never used Fiverr again. It was, you know.
Well, I'm sure we have a lot of internet marketers on here, and we all know that Fiverr can get you in trouble with paid buying Facebook likes and Twitter followers and LinkedIn connections, you know, right? So best practice is to go in there and find your ideal client and start making those connections, because if you just connect with anybody and everybody, then you're just wasting your time, and you could be devoting a good portion of your time connecting with the right people. So after doing this for 3 years, I had come across, you know, a lot of different industries. And what I found that most industries can use this. And I think my PowerPoint, see, I suck. Guys, I suck at a lot of things, but one of them right now is creating a PowerPoint presentation, because that first that first dot up there should have come up. So let it put it this way. I have taught almost every industry out there, and I haven't found, you know, maybe one or two industries that this currently wouldn't work for on a long-term basis. But so just so you know, if you're thinking, will this work for me in my business? Yes, it can, and it will. It also is a way for you to get past the gatekeeper without cold calling. Now, I think we talked about this last week, is that I actually come into panic mode. I get sweaty palms. I can hardly pick up the phone. I will jump around, do jumping jacks, drink a pot of coffee just before I have to pick up the phone to cold call.
Real quick, I want to chime in.
Wow.
What she has here written on this slide is very, very true. There's a lot of times, even myself, I don't want to deal with cold calls because I don't want to deal with gatekeepers, but it's like a challenge to me now. But when you're actually finding the CEOs and getting connected with them, that's the most powerful thing that you can ever have in your back pocket. And having them looking at your profile saying that you are a genius or a super rock star at LinkedIn. So I'm glad you mentioned that, because I've done that several times on several occasions. I don't think you guys heard me, but I'm going to let you ponder on that for a little bit. All right, go ahead, Tracy.
So LinkedIn is still by far the best platform to get around the gatekeeper. And yeah, I could tell you stories about when I was in real estate. And I actually had a good friend of mine. I was in both mortgage and real estate at the same time. I was one of the lucky ones. I worked for National City Bank. I was down in the Branson area, but I had a lot of partners up in the Springfield, Missouri area that were selling real estate. Well, I went over to their office, and there is a front desk with 4 women sitting there. Big, long desk. Well, I'd been in that office countless numbers of times. They knew who I was, and they knew who my referral partner was. Still would not let me talk to that referral partner, and she was in the office. And this is long before we had cell phones where we could go and text, hey, I'm here, come out and get me, kind of thing. So if I was using LinkedIn to this day, I would have texted her. You know, if we didn't have a cell phone, I would have found her on LinkedIn, connected with her, and then kept her in a top-of-mind awareness campaign. You know, and you know what, we talked about cold calling. Well, cold calling, how many, honestly, phone calls do you really want to make in a day? Where LinkedIn, you can reach more potential clients in a shorter amount of time than any other platform. And I'm going to show you there are still some free strategies that anyone can implement today. So for those of you that think that LinkedIn is becoming a little bit too expensive, I'm still going to show you a way that it's free. And if you don't get on board with free, we always know that free goes away, right? So take advantage of it today before it becomes paid. So I discovered this the hard way, and what I'm going to help you with today is you're going to be able to cheat and get the easy way. Would you guys like the easy way? Well, do you want to know what the hard way is first?
Easy way is always good.
Right. So the hard way, well, you know, when I first started doing this, I joined expensive networking groups. You guys know those groups? It's called BNI. You know, the groups that charge you $300-400 a year and monthly fees, and then you have to earn so many points per month in order to stay into the BNI group. You know, and what happened was I got referrals, what I thought were good referrals, and most of those people didn't even know that I was calling. So they were ended up being a cold call, not a warm lead, right? And the ones that did, you know, let me have the opportunity to speak to them about their marketing didn't have the money to do it. So I hated it. I hated BNI. I got out of BNI. And so what happened is I was learning about LinkedIn, and I decided that, you know, maybe this is a better place and a better platform for me. Now, don't get me wrong. I do like going out and physically meeting people and shaking hands and getting to know someone and building that relationship, and that's what LinkedIn is all about, you know, eventually. But in the beginning, I spent hours upon hours learning and testing, and LinkedIn changes frequently, just like any other social platform. There's always something new. They take something away, and you can, you know, excuse my French, bitch and moan all you want, There's nothing that you can do about it. You just have to go with the flow and, use what you've got, to your advantage. And when I first started, I paid thousands of dollars for LinkedIn courses. And to be honest with you, some were okay, most were not, and they were all the same. And I didn't learn a whole bunch, differently. So it was my own, time-tested strategies through the months and the years is how I learned how to use LinkedIn effectively for me. So you guys want the easy way that does not require you to spend hours learning on how to generate LinkedIn leads? Yes?
Yes. And before you get into that, why is it that they changed so much? The platform. I know Google does that, but why is it that LinkedIn changed so much?
LinkedIn became a public company back in 2011. Same thing with what Facebook did. I mean, things were free for a very long time. Then they became public, and guess what? Now it's a pay-to-play game. LinkedIn is no different. Now they want to keep their shareholders happy and grow, right? Monetize even more. So, I mean, if anybody else has got a better answer than that, I'd go ahead and help me out here. But, you guys don't like doing stuff for free forever, don't you? Right? You want to make money, right? So it's the same thing with them, and they're testing to see, what works and what doesn't. Just to give you an example, a couple years ago they came out with showcase pages, which are an extension of company pages, and got rid of the products and services that you could add to there and career section, and did showcase pages. Well, they did it for about a year and then decided that the showcase pages weren't really effective, and so they took them away from the company pages. So it's just it's a test thing. And like I said, you just got to take advantage of stuff while it's there, because sooner or later they'll either keep it or they'll take it away from you and add something new. And that's the beauty in it. I like that. I mean, it's not a stale platform. Does that answer the question?
Yes.
All right. So can all of you imagine someday that your business, could be generating consistent leads and thousands of dollars without spending hours and hours marketing on LinkedIn? Wouldn't that be awesome? Is that a yes?
Yeah, lots of yeses.
Okay, good. Wouldn't it be awesome if you could get your first paying client in the next 30 days or less, only spending 20 to 30 minutes a day on LinkedIn?
Heck yes.
Can you imagine, for those of us, I'm a single parent, so that's awesome for me. But for those of you who have, a significant other or a spouse and kids at home, can you imagine what you could do with the extra time in your day to spend with your family or your friends or the hobby that you love so much? What would your spouse or your kids going to say when you get to spend more time with them and you're making twice as much money in a lot less time? Wouldn't that be a life-changing experience?
Definitely.
All right. So guess what, guys? In the past 45 days, personally, I have generated $3,000 while I was recovering from third-degree burns in the hospital for 6 days with skin grafts. And guess what? I didn't even have an active running campaign on LinkedIn at all.
Nice.
See,
so
that's awesome.
It really is. And it's because I've positioned myself as the authority in my industry, which is teaching and coaching on LinkedIn. And people, because of my past activities, they're still able to find me. And so they reach out to me on LinkedIn. It's really cool. And you know what? These are my results. And what I'm going to be able to do is walk you through these specific strategies and systems that are going to be earning you significant sales. And that's right now. I mean, your actions will always determine your results, but based on my actions prior to the my kitchen debacle, I achieved these results, and so can you. And I'm going to be more than happy to show you exactly what's working for me.
So let me get this straight. You are sitting there trying to cook something. You done burned yourself. You done you were third-degree burns, recovering from that, and you still got paid. Wow.
Yeah.
Excellent.
As a matter of fact, Bill, why don't you share with the group how this all came about?
Yeah. So I had messaged Tracy to talk about this because she does some very advanced things that nobody else I've ever seen do. And I said, you know what? We need to start teaching people this because, a lot of people have seen the as seen on TV people and all these other courses around LinkedIn, but nobody really tells you how to actually get leads from LinkedIn. And she had been doing it for 3 years, and I said, we need to do this, And she was like, well, I only have one problem. I'm actually in the ER right now. And I was like, oh. I said, well, you know what? Whenever you get out, let me know, and we'll put something together. So.
Well, no, I wasn't exactly in the ER. I was in a hospital bed, pretty drugged up.
Well, that too. I was saying it in the nice way,
The fun stuff that they give you, right? So.
The stuff that makes you laugh.
The stuff that makes you laugh. Yes, I did do a lot of that. So, all right. So I told you guys in the beginning how you can save yourselves months, potentially even years of learning this on your own, and hours and hours and hours marketing daily. So here's my big 3 secrets. We're going to dive right into the content here now, okay? Secret number 1 I'm going to show you today is because I've positioned myself as the authority in my industry, I have potential clients reaching out to me without me spending any additional time marketing. We just shared that with you a second ago. Secret number 2, I use this free strategy to grow my connections, and I get paid speaking gigs. If you don't do this now, your competition will, and I promise you they will. And secret number 3 that we're going to talk about today is I only need to spend a couple hours a week to make this work. And I'm going to show you how I do that. So secret number 1 with LinkedIn Lure is we're going to show you here real quick how you can build authority, the 5 keyword-driven sections that are the most important in your personal profile. We're going to also let you know that photos matter, and we're going to show you some examples of good ones and bad ones, okay? And then, of course, your potential audience or your client wants to know what's in it for them. I'm going to show you how a way to be able to craft that so that you're speaking to them potentially when you're doing an outreach campaign, or they find you organically so that you pre-qualify them when they land on your profile. You guys ready to go?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, awesome. So I'm going to go back and we're going to share my screen here. All right, can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right, so this is your homepage when you first log into LinkedIn, all right? So this is where I'm going to show you the 5 main sections you go to on your profile, okay? I'm going to do this with examples because if I just kind of went down the list here, I don't think you would really absorb it really well, all right? So what I did is I pulled some profiles, some good and some bad profiles, and we're going to start at the top, all right? Okay, so these are all my first connections that I've pulled up. So Mr. John J.J. Fountain, as you can see, must be an avid fisherman, but he's also in the roofing industry, okay? So when I said that photos matter, before I mention anything at all, can somebody tell me what is right or wrong with his photo?
I'm not saying it.
Is there anybody in the group? Because I can't toggle back to the chat.
Come on, Billy.
I'm looking here still.
So you're asking what is wrong with his photo right off the bat?
Correct. Okay, so let's set the precedence here. If somebody were to, let's say John decided to message somebody, okay, and before, they don't know who he is, and before they ever message him back, they're going to go check out his profile and see who this guy's all about, all right? So first impressions matter, and you only get about 7 seconds or so to make one, okay? So before anybody scrolls down to see the rest of your profile, they're going to see a few things. They're going to see a background photo, which he's not actually got one activated. They're going to see your profile photo. They're going to see your name and your headline, okay? So that's the most important thing that you can do before the rest of the that you craft the rest of the profile is make a first impression count. So when I said photos count, is this a Facebook photo, a Twitter photo, or a LinkedIn photo?
That's a Facebook photo.
Absolutely. Okay. This is a professional platform, and it's really cool that John caught this really big fish. Okay. We're talking about LinkedIn lure today, right? So I had to find a fish picture. So, and he's actually not the only one. I got another roofer. I just couldn't find it. That's got a big old fish picture in here too. It's hilarious. But so what you want in a photo is to make sure that you are in a neutral background. I'm going to show you some good ones here in a minute with your head and your shoulders, okay, where people can actually see your face, because people do business with what? People they know, like, and trust. They're not going to do business with Roofing Supply Group. They're going to do business with JJ. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay, excellent. All right, let's show you another one here. Okay, so Mr. Thomas, and I really don't want to pronounce that last name because I might murder it, is he is utilizing the background photo, and it's really kind of cool. I kind of like the picture in the background because it really kind of says what his company does. Okay, it looks like they deliver diesel oil is what it looks like. Okay, I think he could do a better job of crafting this picture, and there's no call to action there. I mean, there is on the side of the truck, but to be honest with you, I can't read it. Okay, so maybe he needs to go get a photo with the side of it that says who the company is, what they do or sell, and the phone number. All right, but this is the one that gets me, is this profile picture. Can somebody tell me what's wrong with this profile picture? Lem is laughing.
I'm thinking that he came to medieval times here in Dallas. That's what it is, and he loved it.
He probably did. All right. Well, I thought I'd get a little bit more people in the chat talking about that. Like maybe Mr. Brian, since he liked to give me a dig about my baseball cap last week, and give me a little, give me an answer or something.
Yeah, everybody's saying pretty much, unless the other guy was a pro fisherman, that, and then Steven just said everything's wrong with his profile.
Everything wrong with it.
He's getting choked. There's a lot of random comments.
Yeah. Thanks, Rue.
Okay, so Miss Kim, I met her at one of these conferences that I was at in March, and so I don't want to pick on her because she's a really nice lady, but there are a couple things wrong with this in here. So if you're going to keep your background photo activated, you might want to actually put a photo background in there instead of just keep that plain blue, okay? Her picture, it's a nice picture, but there's two things that I could see improvement on. One is the fact it's a little blurry, and that it's really small. So you actually get, a very good amount of real estate here to work with, okay? Now, the reason I also chose her is because of her name. Now, LinkedIn, in their search bar up at the top here, it actually acts a lot like Google, okay? Some of the same Boolean search terms actually even apply in LinkedIn as they do in Google. So if somebody's looking for Kim, because let's say if I met Kim over at this conference and I went to go look for her, I'm not going to find her. You know why? Does anybody know why? Any guesses?
And keep in mind, Tracy, when you are asking these questions, it might be a little bit behind. So.
Oh, that's right. The lag time.
Yeah.
we are on a Google Hangout.
Right. They are coming though. The questions will come in. Right.
Okay. So I may not even pull Kim Stark up because not only has she added her name, but she also added her email address. Now, a better spot for this, her email address, is to take that real estate in the background photo and go use a very cheap tool I think we all know is called Fiverr. You don't want to spend $200 or $300 on graphics at like 99 Designs. Go to Fiverr and then spend anywhere between $5 and $25 and have that background photo done where it actually fits. Because I know I'm not a graphic designer, and I've tried to do this on my own. I said, you know what? I'm good at a lot of stuff, but I'm not good at that, just like I'm not good at PowerPoint. So, so I went and found somebody else to do it, and it's economical enough where I could go and test out background photos, test out call to actions, like are they going to go to an appointment link? Are they going to pick up the phone and call me? Maybe they just want to email me. So this way you'll be able to afford a little bit of testing at that point. And believe me, I've been told that my background photo is incredibly cheesy, but I'm going to tell you something, it works. And I haven't changed it since I did it. And I only spent $5 on it.
See, if I grow my hair out like that too, I'll get more views too. But you know, this brother ain't trying to grow his hair out these days. It's too hot in Texas. All right, come on.
I can see you with blonde hair, Lim.
I've done it before. Okay.
All right, so the moral of this is that Kim should take my recommendation and take this email address and put it in the background there. This way, if somebody's looking for Kim because I met her at a conference or some networking event, they would be able to find her in LinkedIn. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let me share with you a good one. So I showed you what not to do. Let's show you what to do. Okay, Chuck Stilley is one of my clients. Chuck he's here locally in Kansas City. He is incredibly good at what he does. He helps. He's a consultant for these luxury theaters that are popping up everywhere. Okay, those are the ones where you can, you know, it's got stadium seating and they're leather seats, and you can eat dinner and you can have a glass of wine.
Yeah,
you know, those kind of
school.
theaters. Yeah, really kind of cool. So Chuck doesn't need a whole lot in his profile. So this is what we did for him. He got the photo, which was pretty awesome. So he actually went and got it professionally done. I didn't ask him to do that. But we did do this background photo for him. And he doesn't need a whole lot of people calling him. He only wants 6 or 7 clients a year because he charges, you know, $150,000 to $200,000 consulting fee. And it's a big project, right? So these are some of the projects that he's worked on to the right here. So we do, you know, so what we're trying to get people to do is to go to his website, movietheaterdevelopment.com, that has actually more information. It's a pretty simple website, and he is getting phone calls. Phone calls.
You know what? Real quick, and I hate to cut you off, but I'm looking at Brian and what he's saying, and I'm looking at Chuck's tie. Chuck is looking fly. Let me tell you, Chuck is like what you call an old gangster. He looks good, and when he goes into an office and he's ready to talk to a client, he looks like he means business. Understand, people, some people mess with my ties and how I look sometimes, but hey, look at Chuck. That's all I got to say.
Chuck, and that nice pinstripe suit, he's looking fly. You're right. Absolutely right. Okay, let me show you another good example. This is another one of my clients. This is Cecil McIntosh. He is a coach of sorts, and he is in Canada. So, and sometimes it really, you've got to craft it good enough for the background photo. And how you do that is if you try to do this yourself, or you're trying to, you upload it and it doesn't look good on your screen because you're looking in your profile under edit mode, you just want to go click on your profile just to make sure that it looks good, and click view profile as, after LinkedIn puts all their garbage at the top. And now, except for this white bar right here, that's what it's going to look like to everybody else when they land on your profile. Okay, so this way you can make sure that everything is within this little real estate right here, all right, so that anybody can see that. And they won't see this portion right this. It's only because I'm looking at my profile as somebody else, as public. Okay, so let's go back to where Cecil is. So Cecil, right here, look at, he works with women and women entrepreneurs. And he's had many successful women like, I think one of his successes was this woman. She was an incredibly successful entrepreneur, but had a hard time finding a relationship. She wanted to get married and share that success with somebody. Well, he coached her to that success and even invited him to the wedding. That's pretty awesome, isn't it? And guess where he found her? On LinkedIn. Now, I didn't do his LinkedIn profile for him. I coached him to a profile. But look at this. Live your dream in 90 days. That's a call to action, right? And then he wants you to go and schedule an appointment with him. Okay?
Nice.
This is another good friend of mine. Now, John Moore was one of my very first clients that we worked together. And I'm going to show you a little bit about John Moore here in a little bit. John's not utilizing the background photo, but at the time when I coached John, that was not actually available to free members or even all premium members. That only came about the next year. So he's probably unaware that he can do that now. So now it is available to everybody to use. And then, of course, we got Mr. Bob. I'm going to talk about Mr. Bob here today, too. Bob is amazing in what he does on LinkedIn. Okay, but we're going to go, these are great photos, but we're going to go into more about what they've done right in their profile. So let's go back to JJ. JJ's a lot of fun to work with here. So the first main section that is keyword driven is your headline. Okay, that is this right here, right under your name. Okay. Most folks, what they're going to do, because they still think that LinkedIn is used to find a position, is they're going to list their position. And for you guys going to try and find these folks, that's great for you. You don't want them to change that. Okay? But what you want to do on your own is change your headline to speak to your ideal audience, and that's through keywords. So what you need to do is, once you've identified who your ideal client is you're going to go brainstorm keywords, up to 10 keywords that they might be typing in to find the services that you provide. Does that make sense? Everybody still with me?
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. So I don't know JJ's business, and it looks to me like he's the branch manager for some roofing supply group. Well, what kind of roofing supply? Are they residential roofing supply? Are they commercial? Do they specifically deal in a specific type of materials? You know, so he needs to find out who his clients are and then craft that. This right here are all searchable in the search bar. All right, I'm going to show you some good ones here in a minute. So this is what most folks will do, is just put their position at the company that they work for. Okay, that's what not to do. Same thing with Thomas. Now, actually, Thomas has done a little bit correct here. He says he's the vice president of sales, but he says diesel service delivery coordinator. Well, that might be a keyword that his audience is using. I don't know, because I haven't sat down and did any brainstorming with it, but I might put diesel delivery coordinator or diesel service or something of that sort, because somebody might be going in and typing that in to find him in the search bar. Now, Kim has started to do something a little bit right. Okay, she is a recruiter. So see what she says right there. She recruits nurse educators. Well, her ideal audience isn't probably going to go in recruits nurse educators. They might say recruiter for nurse educators or recruiter of nurse educators, or she could just put recruiter in there. But she also listed in here, she's not in pharmaceutical sales. She's a recruiter for pharmaceutical sales. She's a recruiter for managers. What kind of managers? Is she in IT? Is it pharmaceutical? Looks like, you know, looks like it's more medical. So she may want to put in, you know, she may not, only 2 to 3 keywords in here is good enough. But she did something right, and I wanted to share this with you, is it's really hard to read when you just, well, he did it okay here, but if you've got lowercase letters, we call doing this in camel case. Camel case, for those of you who doesn't know what that is where you capitalize the first letter of each word. Okay. Also, too, in a headline or anywhere else in the profile, if your Unicode symbol or something that you use from your keyboard, like we call this the pipe, that's on your keyboard, If you put it directly next to the word, LinkedIn won't pick it up as a keyword. You need to keep a space in between it. Right, Lem? Lem, I'm picking on you. Okay, so a lot of people I don't think there's any right or wrong way in the headline, but I think it's a lot easier to read and separate out what it is that you do, okay, or the service that you provide by using the pipe. I've seen people use stars, diamonds, and they're really dark, and it takes away from the type in LinkedIn. It's hard to read. I've also seen people use commas, but sometimes commas are hard to see online as well. I like to use the pipe. It just keeps everything clean and simple and easy to read. So we did Chuck's. You know what? You don't need to use all the characters in the headline. Chuck does that. Just one thing. He is a movie theater consultant. Okay? We did have a little bit of go around because theater is spelled a couple different ways. So you guys are going to learn about this later on down the road, but when you start doing keyword research, you're going to learn how maybe sometimes things might get misspelled, and you want to research the misspellings as well. It's phenomenal sometimes what you can come up with. Okay, so Cecil took it very well. He's a stress management expert. I might be looking for a stress management expert, right? I may just type in stress management, and I'll probably still find Cecil. He's a wellness coach, and that's a broad term. And for those of you who are in that wellness area, NLP is an industry term, but for somebody who's actually needing to find that, they will actually use NLP. I've coached a couple NLP coaches, and I got schooled about that. So, and he's a relaxation therapist. So for those of you who might need some help with some stress management or relaxation, do you think you might be able to find Cecil because he thought about his client and what kind of service he provides for them, and then he crafted his headline to say so? Does everybody agree with me?
Because he said so, yes.
Okay, so that is, we talked about the photos already, and then we talked about the headline. So the next section that we're going to talk about that is very, very keyword driven is a summary. Now, if you look Mr. JJ here, Mr. JJ doesn't even have a summary at all.
Wow.
And so the first thing that you want to make sure, besides all else, is that your profile is filled out 100% completely. That is the most important, okay? Especially if you're doing a campaign, somebody wants to know a little bit about you and who you are, and if you don't have any of that, if they can't tell what it is that you do, you click off of your profile and move on. You've potentially lost a client that you spent time to go out and try and find and reach out to, okay? So the summary is the next section. You get about 2,000 characters. That's with spaces and all. And a summary, there's no right way, but there is a wrong way. And we talked about this last week. There's a couple wrong ways now that I think about it, looking at this fella's, what's his name again, Thomas, his profile. First one is a summary. People like to get to know a little bit about you because remember, they're doing business with you, and they want to see if they're going to be able to get to know you, like you, and trust you, and then ultimately do business with you. So I like to craft a profile in first person. Now, if any of you, if you weren't here last week, we talked about this, and it was hilarious, but does it ever annoy you when somebody talks about themselves in third person? Yes, it totally annoys me. And I got caught, a few months ago with my 15-year-old son, who got annoyed because I was talking about myself in third person to him. And I mean, we all do it. It's habitual sometimes, but try not to do it here. And with any other etiquette online, if you have this many capitals if you capitalize every word in here, this is like screaming at somebody, and it's incredibly hard to read. Okay? But what he does do here, right, is he talks a little bit about who he is, okay? And he talks about how to contact him, but what he forgot was a way to contact him. So he forgot his Well, actually, it is up at the top here where he should have said, call me at this phone number. There you go. I guess he did do that, but again, I couldn't see it because it was in all caps. All right. So tell a little bit about who you are, what it is that you do, and then the what's in it for me. We talked about that as part of my secret here is what's in it for me. Because if you're not you're pre-qualifying your client by telling you what it is, you can say what you do all day long and brag about your services, but if you're not sharing with them what it is that you can do for them and how it's going to solve their problem and why they should use your services, you've lost a potential client. Okay, I'm looking at the time here, so I'm kind of getting a little fast, moving on a little faster here, okay, because we got quite a bit more to do. So the third section is your experience section, and for most folks, what I'm going to share with you is that they use this as a resume, and I think if it's a past position, that's quite all right to do, but this is also very keyword driven, and this is what I like to use is my mini sales letter. So I can only say so much in my summary, so this is like an extension of your summary where you can further define and refine who it is that you want to work with and the services that you provide and the pain points that you can solve. Okay, this can be done in second or third person if you wish. I don't see that it needs to be in first person unless you wish to. But here's one little tip right here. Try not to do big blocky paragraphs like this because it's really hard to read online. And you have to understand that 50% of people are going to access LinkedIn using their tablet and their phone, which makes it even incredibly more difficult to read on small devices like that.
That's a good point there.
Okay, so the fourth section is your skills. Now, in the past, LinkedIn had what they called specialties. And as you can see, Bob is still using specialties. Now, I've talked to Bob about this, but he just, he just decided that he wanted to keep it in. And I see a lot of people doing that, but if you have a lot to say, then you might want to take out the specialties and just keep it in your skills because specialties will take up a valuable real estate. Like I said, you only get 2,000 characters, right? But they still count as keywords. You just don't want to keyword stuff this, okay? LinkedIn will know if you're like every other word is your keyword, okay? They get it. So be conversational about it when you're crafting your profile. So let me go back to where we were. So top skills. So you get 50 top skills. Okay, what I like to do is, remember I talked about the keyword brainstorming and the top 10 keywords that you have? Well, then I actually like to list those first. And then I'll take the 40 more and do variations of my keywords. So for example, if you're in social media marketing, I could do 2 words right here, 2 keyword phrases, social media and social media marketing. All right, so when you start to go in and edit this and start typing, LinkedIn is going to give you suggestions, but you actually will be able to go in and create your own if it's an industry that people are searching in. So LinkedIn is giving you suggestions based on what other people are putting into their skills section, skills and expertise, okay? Let's say that you forgot about something and you want a different skill to be up here. Well, you actually are allowed now to go in and rearrange these in any way that you want. When I first started, it was you couldn't do that, and it was listed the way that your brain was thinking that day, okay? And of course, I don't like to do things twice, so I didn't fix it. But now I got to rearrange everything. And I'm going to show you one other place right now that you probably never thought, and that actually, yes, he's got it in here, that you probably never thought that would be searchable keyword terms in LinkedIn. And we got this from a LinkedIn executive. Okay, here's one of my intermediate tips because I teach this a lot now. Interest section isn't just for those of you who like to say that you like golfing or that you're a Raiders fan. Oh wait, you're not Raiders fans. I'm just playing. Or just not personal interest, but you do want to put some personal interest in there, and they are. So you see how I can the link. So if I clicked on Swedish radio. These are this is one of the places that you can search for people, clients and competitors, is look at some of the profiles that other people are typing in that are for Swedish radio. So if I have something in common with somebody, Let's say, for example, I'm looking for an estate attorney that likes to golf. And I found 2 competent attorneys that, you know, they're apples to apples. But I noticed that one of them going through his profile is an avid golfer. So I'm probably more likely going to reach out to that specific attorney first because we have something in common and I can break the ice. Everybody following me? Yes, no?
Yes.
Okay. So here is another place to add your keywords, and add your most popular keywords with your keyword string, so or phrases. So like social media, and you could do social media marketing. Okay, don't big stuff. I think you only get 1,000 of these in here, but these are searchable. So not only do you want to put some personal interests in here, you'll also want to put your keywords in here. And it's not what we call keyword stuff, and as long as you do it like once or you do variations of your keyword phrases, and this is a great place to add it. And I can tell you a lot of your competitors aren't doing this because nobody knows how to do this, or they weren't they weren't, what's the word I'm looking for, Lem? They weren't shared. Well, I'm doing a lot of talking. Let me take a drink. Hold on.
Yes, take a drink, girl.
Thank you. Nobody taught them that this is a secret little section that they can use today that still works to add some more places for your keywords. All right? Makes sense, everybody? So there's your 5. 5 right there. Okay, so I'm going to show you a good profile. Chuck is a good profile. Now, Chuck, he didn't use all his characters because he only does one thing. Okay, he doesn't have to, so you don't need to you know, worry about using up all 2,000 characters, but he did it, and he did it correctly. All right, so we didn't have much in here. Believe me, I asked him if we could add more, and he says, no, I just need him to know this much. Okay, we're good to go, but it's effective. Okay, mine is long, it's lengthy. I list out who it is that I want to work with and what we do for them. All right, he has a call to action. That is important. Put your call to action in there. You can do it in front of all your copy, or you can do it at the tail end. Test it. All right. Also, don't forget to add media. So for those of you out there that have videos, or you're an author, or you are you've got a SlideShare, or you've written publications, there's a place to, you know, for publications in there, but you've got live links to other stuff, or a live link to your Amazon book or whatnot. You want to do this in here, and make sure that you use some keywords in here. Okay, he didn't, because he didn't want that in here. I would have said you know, movie theater consulting in Shopping Centers Today magazine is probably what I would have done. And you're able to add a description in there. Will people click on that? Most likely no, but LinkedIn sees the keywords, and they see in the description that your keywords in the description as well. This is just a little place that most people won't take the time to go in and add that. So recap, when adding media, try to be keyword, try to use your keywords, and then a short description with 1 or 2 keywords in there that's relevant to whatever it is that you uploaded. Okay, so we're going to go, I'm not going to go back to the PowerPoint because, and that's just too much toggling. Okay, so we're going to go into LinkedIn secret number 2. All right. So LinkedIn secret number 2, did you know that you could join 50 groups? Now most of us, I'm going to tell you, most of us will go and join industry groups, or groups where our competitors are hanging out, you know, like in this, you know, let's see, I've got a couple of those groups. I don't even go in there anymore. Davin Michaels Marketing on Steroids group, you know, we're all belong to those internet marketing groups, digital marketing, okay? But what you want to do is start with a couple industry groups, but you want to go and join groups where your ideal audience is hanging out, because at some point in time you're going to find your perfect client and you want to reach out to them. And then whatever it is that you want to offer to them of value for your services or whatnot, just to start building that relationship and that trust. How are we doing, guys?
That's a great point. I'm glad you mentioned that because I would hate to go into a group with all my competitors. That's not helping me at all. So why do it?
No, but I would go into those groups because you still want to research your competitor. So what are they talking about? What kind of activity are they getting on their discussions, right? They're building authority. They're becoming a thought leader in these other groups. So you always want to keep on top of who your competitor is, as well as who your clients are. Okay? Does that make sense to everybody?
Bill said absolutely.
All right.
Sorry, I can't muted myself. I said absolutely.
Okay. Here's the other tip. Start writing publisher posts. I'm going to share with you in a minute about Mr. Bob Lovely, who I love dearly. He lives here in Kansas City. And this is all Bob does. This is it. He just writes posts once a week. As you notice, he doesn't have a whole lot of followers, right? You don't need 30,000 followers in order to make money on LinkedIn, okay? You just need maybe, a few hundred, 1,000, a couple thousand targeted followers and first connections in order to make a killing on LinkedIn, okay? So write a publisher post, but what you also want to do is go in, and you're still becoming the thought leader, okay, is start posting content in the news feed. Now, that doesn't mean that it always has to be your content, but you could take that publisher post, copy that link, and then go in and share it as an update. All right? Maybe you want to take that post, copy the link, and remember I just told you join in groups where your target audience is hanging out? Go publish that into the discussions. If it's an article that is relevant to them, and again, we told you it doesn't always have to be your content, because becoming a thought leader and authority in your industry isn't always your content. You took the time to go out and seek out other content that could help out your ideal audience, your ideal client, positioning you as that thought leader. Does this make sense? Then people will come to you because it's information that they didn't have to go out and spend the time to find that information, and you're giving it to them. So like I said, why do you think that, for example, anybody know who Tim Ferriss is?
Yes.
Okay. Tim Ferriss, yes, he wrote a couple books about, the 4-hour work week and the 4-hour body, but Tim Ferriss started a podcast, and what did Tim Ferriss do? It wasn't his content, was it? He became a master interviewer. Now, Tim Ferriss has got a huge following because why? He positioned himself as the thought leader. And he didn't have to be the expert on what he's talking about on his podcast. His guests are. But he's still considered the thought leader and the authority in his industry. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
Okay, I love Tim Ferriss. He's hilarious. In fact, I got was it Friday? I thought Tim Ferriss was such a straight-laced guy, and then I got this email about how his very first podcast he was doing an interview and they were drinking wine and how drunk he got and it was slurred, and he still kept it up there, and I'm like, wow, he's a real guy. That's hilarious. That's funny. That was really funny.
I would suggest you do that the next time you make a cold call. Get a glass of wine or two and just pick up the phone, start calling. Just call it 5 o'clock hour. That's what you do.
Do that instead of coffee?
Yeah, you do that. It will relax you. And you're like, man, I made 20 phone calls today.
I'm drunk. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's hilarious. That is hilarious. All right. So let me tell you a little bit story on how publisher posts work. All right. So last December, now I haven't written a publisher post since last December. Shame on me. Shame, 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 shame. But I got so much business out of it, I just stopped doing it because if I kept writing, then I'd probably have more business than I could personally handle because I was working on some other projects at the time and I wasn't taking on any more clients per se unless they were personal or private coaching clients, okay? But what ended up happening was this publisher post right here netted me quite this little advanced strategy that I used, and I published it, okay? I ended up because of this, we talked about this last week for those of you who were on that, so you want to go back and review the strategy. I don't have a ton of time to go over it, but I did an outreach campaign for 10 days into a lawyer group, okay, and ended up this year, all expenses paid, from a CEO of an online continuing education company flying me out to the Orlando Hard Rock Cafe, all expenses paid, Palms Restaurant, wine. I mean, went down to the City Walk, even paid for a plane ticket home because he didn't want me having to leave that early, and just bought a whole new ticket for me. How awesome is that? And that's the power of LinkedIn. How are we going, guys?
You're doing good. You're doing good.
Okay. All right. So
Keep it up.
Keep it up. You betcha. All right. So LinkedIn lure secret number 3. Well, you know what? You need to use some automated tools. Okay. Now, some free automated tools. Some of you may know and some of you may not. I personally love Hootsuite. Hootsuite is free for up to 5 profiles. You actually can post into LinkedIn. You can post into groups, Twitter, Facebook. The only thing you can't do is post a publisher post in there because it has to manually be done. I don't know any platform yet that is able to do that because it's more like a WordPress type of platform. Hopefully someday they'll be able to do that. Would be pretty awesome. Save me a little bit of time. But in the meantime, I love Hootsuite because what I can do is I can go use sites kind of like Flipboard. Anybody familiar with Flipboard? You can also get Flipboard on your Android. And I don't know about iPhone. I'm not an iPhone user, but I know I have it as an app on my phone. And I find some really cool stuff in here. And I just save it to my Evernote app, which is also on my phone. And I know that you can get Evernote. So Evernote is also amazing because when I come across articles, I'm going to bookmark those articles. And then I go into a spreadsheet. And then I will put into a spreadsheet all my status updates for the week. And I can do this in 1 hour for the whole week. So I can do 1 or 2 status updates, then I write a publisher post. I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but that is, you know, a couple great tools. Also, for those of you, it's been a while since I think anybody since mentioned this, is I still like Google Alerts.
Yes, those still work. Yes.
I love Google Alerts because I can put in keywords and then find industry-specific articles that I can share with my members in the same group that I belong to, where my ideal audience is hanging out again, furthering myself as the thought leader in the industry.
I used to target potential clients like that. I remember I had a tanning client, and I would target tanning prospects because they would put something online on their blog, and I would get it, and I was like, oh, these are the people that I can target.
All right, another spot to do this is in a company page. There's something new that just happened, and it's not going to pop up, but there it is. Before, when you would post your content in the company page, like you see the news feed in there, okay, your followers wouldn't get notified. Well, guess what? LinkedIn, I told you, they take stuff away, they add stuff, really cool, and then they share it with you, okay? So now you can get breaking news on companies that you follow. So maybe you want to follow your competitor's company so that you always don't have to think about, oh, I need to go over to their page and see what kind of content they're posting. Well, it's just going to come to your news feed now. It's going to go straight to your homepage into your news feed. Awesome, right? So even if you found other companies that are industry specific, that have news and stuff that is relevant to your ideal audience, you take this post right there, you just go into that company page, because it'll go into your homepage. I don't follow Capitalist Group, but you go into their homepage and you just take this link right here, all right? I don't care where you got it from, copy it and make sure that you reduce that link down to using, I think LinkedIn will do it for you, but if you want to use like a bit.ly or something like that, that way you're sharing relevant information. And what people didn't realize is that you can actually use groups in that way now, when before you couldn't do that. And I'm an admin of this group, so I shouldn't show you all that stuff. Sorry. So, so anyway, that's a great little secret that most people are not capitalizing on. So start joining or following companies now that are your competitors, and start following companies where they are posting good content that might be relevant to your perfect audience. Everybody enjoying this webinar so far?
Yeah, I think everybody's learning a lot.
Would you all like to see how one of my clients is doing this and bringing in executive coaching clients on autopilot?
Absolutely.
All right. So,
okay.
Go ahead.
Well, I'm seeing a question here. So curated content is okay as well? That's what they're asking?
Yes. Yeah. If it's relevant to your audience, by all means. I mean, I'm going to tell you what, I got enough to do in a day, and you know, writing one publisher post a week is challenging enough for me. Just because I like to talk, I don't like to write. That's my challenge, but maybe it may not be for you. But going out and finding other people's content, man, we're online all day long. I mean, when I'm in the doctor's office, sitting on my phone, waiting for the doctor, you know what? Go find good curated content while you're sitting there, and then hit Evernote. Have Evernote save that link for you. I mean, how easy can that be? That way, because when you get home, by the time you get home from the doctor's office, you're not going to remember what it was that you were just looking at, right?
That's true. And I just remember about 4 months ago getting rid of Flipboard, and I thought, I shouldn't get rid of this on my phone. And now that was like the aha moment. Oh, I could be curating content. I can be grabbing that and bookmarking that for later. I mean, that makes sense. I can't believe I got rid of it. I can get it back. Oh, well.
Right. All right, so we went over secret 2 and secret number 3. All right, use automated tools. You're going to spend out 1 hour per week setting it up for the week. So you're going to get all that curated content that you just spent over the week or so, and you bookmark it in Evernote, and then you're going to go in and you're going to go into Hootsuite, or if some of you, if you want something paid, you could go in and use Buffer. I like Buffer. It can be, I don't know, was it $70 or $80 for a business account? But also Buffer also does Google Plus. I think it does Google Communities too. I haven't used Buffer in a while, but you can either way that you want to do it, and then start scheduling those posts out. That way it's a set it and forget it. Do it on a Sunday, 1 hour, you're good to go. You can even set it up in an hour for a whole month. And then all you got to do in daily is go in, and if anybody's responding to those and asking you a question, you're going to get that notification in your LinkedIn up at the little flag at the top. That's going to show you that somebody's responded to that discussion or whatnot, and you can go back in and you can respond back to it. All right, here's Bob. I love Bob. Bob is a 30-year corporate executive veteran who does not have a blog, a website, doesn't use landing pages, doesn't even have a smartphone. He has a Mac, but he doesn't have a camera on it. And he started using publishing last June. And I told you, I'm just going to, I suck at PowerPoint. There we go. So all he does is write 1 publisher post a week, focusing on what his clients want, okay, to solve a pain point. Now, Bob writes his own stuff, but you don't have to. You can, actually, I would if I were you, but always want to put your spin on something, especially if you're going to take links from other things and then, or other curated content, and then add your own spin on it too. But as long as you can solve a pain point and have call to actions, and you want to put 3 tags in that post, LinkedIn allows you to tag it now. So now it's keywords. Remember we talked about keywords? Now you can tag it. Now, unfortunately, right now, you can't tag it like you can in Skills and create your own tags. You're kind of limited at that point, but even then, it's another way to get found in LinkedIn. What you're going to do is you're going to take that link and you're going to share it to your groups. Remember, I told you can use Hootsuite, right? So take that link, share it in their groups on all your other social profiles, Facebook, Google+, Twitter. I suck at Twitter, but make sure I hear that you should do Twitter, 5 or 6 times a day at different times of the day, because Twitter runs so fast. And then test your weekdays. Bob tested it on Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, and found that Wednesdays was his best day. Wait, today's Tuesday. No, it was Tuesday. Tuesdays are his best days. He gets more people connecting with him and reaching out to him on Tuesdays than any other day of the week. And he posts his, and this may not work for you, he posts his first thing in the morning Central Time. Most of his clients are local. Okay? Guess what his results were, guys? You can already read this. And in the first 90 days of doing this, without a blog, website, landing page, smartphone, or camera, he made $10,000 in 90 days using LinkedIn Publisher and a Gmail account. That's it.
That's remarkable. Real quick, is IFTT able to work in this as well? Because I had that same thought, and someone else mentioned that, and I thought maybe that would work.
Say that one more time. I didn't catch that first part.
IFTT, you know what that is?
FTP?
IFTT.
Oh, IFT. Oh, you mean if this, then that?
Yes, yes. Would that work as well?
No, it won't go into Publisher. Now, I haven't seen one yet. I actually belong to IFTT. I've never used it, although there's a couple in there I'm like, oh, that would really simplify my life. But right. I haven't used it. Right now, the only, believe me, I've searched high and low to find an automatic way to post to Publisher, but it's kind of still like a WordPress platform. You got to upload a photo, copy and paste your content, and add your links, your whatever, and your tags in there. It's a manual process.
Okay.
But when I do, guess what? Guess who I'll be first to know? All you guys, right? All right. So how many clients do you guys think you really need? You know, you're generating new business on LinkedIn. You've got a really stellar profile. It's starting to generate leads. You're becoming the authority in your industry, and you're generating 1 to 10 clients per month. Imagine if you're selling $1,000, $10,000, or $25,000 in services per client. What would that do for you? Would that change your life? That'd change mine. Anybody answering there?
Well, you know, it's a little bit of the lag time, but I'm sure you're going to see some yeses flowing in. And yes, they're coming in.
All right. Well, you guys know this. You know, I don't just do this for free all the time. I mean, I'd like to. I love to teach. Don't get me wrong. But I do have something special for you guys tonight. So in the past hour, wouldn't you guys agree that the time's been well spent so far?
Absolutely.
I can't cover everything, not even in an hour webinar, even if we had all day. There is so much to LinkedIn that I could share with you, and you don't need to use it all at all. You just need to find 1 or 2 things that work for you. And I do have a special offer, so you can get everything that you need to know, and if you act fast, I'm going to give you a very special deal. Pretty cool. All right. So guess what, guys? We're going to talk about LinkedIn Lure. So this is what you guys are going to get. You're going to get 4 amazing weeks of content. Week 1 is going to be laying the foundation on LinkedIn. So you're going to identify who your client is. Okay, we're going to develop a prospects file. We're going to teach you how to do that. All right. We're going to do what we must do before we start crafting a profile is keyword research. We're going to brainstorm, teach you how to brainstorm keywords and that your prospect might use to find you, and tools to help you with that. We're also going to teach you how to do some client and competitor research. I kind of gave up a little places where you guys could do that today, right? Yeah, we're gonna also give you some strategies to spy on your competition, and we're gonna give you some strategies to find your ideal client and have LinkedIn email you new prospects straight to your inbox. Now, wouldn't that be nice not to have to remember, you know, I wrote down exactly what I wanted in my search and I got the perfect search down, but then I threw away my paper or my phone crashed and, you know, I don't have those notes anymore, but LinkedIn will email those to your inbox daily or weekly. Week 2, we're going to teach you how to maximize your profile, and I don't mean just like everybody else does it, and just not those 5 sections either. Tracy's going to teach you. Oh, there I am talking about myself in third person. Shame on me.
That's all good.
I'm going to teach you how to get into some very specific places in your profile that you would never ever thought possible that will help you become visible. All right? And this is what Bill called just not seen on TV. All right? We're gonna show you other places for strategic keyword placement, not just the sections I covered today. We're gonna teach you how to create impressive background photos, as little as $5. I did cover that today. That we're also gonna help you create a headline that speaks to your ideal audience. and craft a summary that pre-qualifies your perfect client. Week number 3 is going to be, we're going to teach a little bit more about LinkedIn Publisher. We're going to do a little introduction to LinkedIn Publisher. We're going to talk about how to promote to your email list. We're going to talk about how you get into groups, including ones that might be private groups. We're going to teach you a little bit of how to craft your email signature so that you get more eyeballs on your LinkedIn profile. And I'm also going to share with you some free and cheap strategies to get your profile viewed and getting members to request a connection from you, which is really awesome that you didn't have to go out there and do all that work yourself, right? And week number 4 is let's get some leads, guys. Now that we've got, you know, a perfectly crafted profile, we've done our research, let's go out and get leads, okay? We're going to show you a little bit more on how to use Publisher, Publish Like a Pro, and how to do some cross-promotion strategies, not just LinkedIn. I'm going to show you how to use some maximizing tools. One of these tools you're going to really love. I'm going to teach you how to become more of a thought leader in your groups, and I'm going to teach you how to reach out to people that view your profile, what to say and what not to say, and believe me, I mean, you don't want people going spam because you only get 5 spams, and guess what happens? You get suspended for a few days, okay? And LinkedIn, they weren't nice like when I started. They sent me an email. Well, they have so many members now, like 380 million members. That's way too many emails. So you just kind of end up finding out when you're suspended. You just can't log in, all right? And I want to also teach you guys how to understand the difference between free and premium accounts. I'm going to tell you, it's going to make a big difference, okay? I always teach free first, but I'm going to show you the benefits of being a premium member, right? So look at that value, because each one of those, you know, my time is valuable, and, you know, the time I've spent, years I've spent learning LinkedIn and how to do this and showing you a way that it only takes, you know, a couple hours a week to do this, okay? That's why I charge $400 an hour. So these will probably be, they'll probably go a little bit longer, maybe an hour to an hour and a half. They will all be recorded. Don't worry, in case you guys miss it, all right? Total value, that's $1,600. I mean, would you guys pay $1,600 for this? Just to learn this and learn it live?
I'm going to let them say yes. I was about to make a point, but I'm going to let it go.
What's the point?
Well, the point is, you know, there's a lot of Facebook-type hype gurus out there that are doing really well with Facebook. Yeah, I get that, and that's wonderful. We use Facebook as part as our platform to get leads in and doing IM stuff. But when it comes to you guys out there that are doing local marketing, $1,600 for, and that's what you're not going to pay today, but $1,600 versus the big highest paying clients on a platform that you know that they have that money, that is like a deal you cannot pass up. So that is what I wanted to make the point. Like, what is the highest, what is the average revenue or income from the people that are on LinkedIn again?
I believe it's $109,000.
Exactly. So point being taken there.
Facebook is 5 figures per member. LinkedIn is 6 figures and plus.
That's what you want to do. Not even talking about what the company's doing. I'm just going to let it go. All right, keep going, Tracy.
But what you got to understand, for those who weren't on the last week, 92% of CEOs, Fortune 50 CEOs, it may not be your client, but they're using LinkedIn. They're not on Facebook.
Exactly.
I'll tell you right now. Most business owners, small business owners, and medium-sized business owners alike, guess what? They're on LinkedIn. These guys are on LinkedIn. They're farting around on Facebook in their own personal profile, but they're not doing business there. Okay? So who does this work for? You know, this works for just about any small business owner in a wide variety of industries. Service professionals. I've worked with recruiters, attorneys, insurance agents, financial planners. I even work with HVAC people, and they're local, and they love this. Because HVAC people, they're not just residential, they're commercial. Do you think the owners of these commercial buildings and companies are on LinkedIn? You think they can find them? Absolutely.
Insurance, definitely.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
We also, this is perfect for coaches and authors. Any type of coach, life coach, motivational, business executive, or whatever you want to call yourself, this is a great way I mean, Twitter's amazing for authors, but, you know, LinkedIn, if you've got that new business book out, I'm letting you know, LinkedIn's the place to spread the word. All right, so I kind of had two choices today. My first option was to go cheap as possible and try to sell as many of these as possible. It wouldn't incentivize me really to stack that value, all right? Or my second option was it requires a little bit of higher investment, but in exchange I can devote more resources and to guarantee your all success, okay? So I thought about long and hard about this. So let me share with you Mr. John Moore. Mr. John Moore, I told you, was the very first fellow that I worked with personally on one-on-one coaching. And this is when we didn't have all the tools available to us, like there were still LinkedIn Q&A, question and answers, and things like that. And there were things that you can do in groups that you can't do now. Okay, but this is what he had to say about me. Tracy provided me an exceptional LinkedIn site that has created a high number of leads and conversions. Her professionalism and knowledge of LinkedIn, as well as other social media such as Google+, exceeded the value of my investment by at least 5 times. She also coached me to constantly improve my networking and marketing efforts and gave me great advice on both. I'm deeply indebted to Tracy for growing my business quickly. You will not regret this investment in your business. And John Moore.
Woo, get it, girl, get it.
And John Moore is a motivational coach, just so you guys know. And just to let you know a little bit about him, he's a big military man, very high-ranking military man. And he was able to quit his job within a few months of using LinkedIn and started his own motivational coaching business.
That's pretty cool.
So we talked about this. All right. We got that. All right. Well, if you guys act fast today, I'm going to throw in a couple bonuses because I'm just feeling, you know, very grateful and very gracious, and I like to give, you know. So bonus number 1 is we're going to do an additional week. So for those of you who kind of, you know, it's going to be a lot of content and want to ask me some questions. Maybe you've crafted your profile, but there's one thing that you just didn't understand, and so we're going to give you some more advanced marketing, some profile strategies, and of course I want you guys to ask me questions. So we're going to give you some additional time to ask me some questions, and I may even have send out an email beforehand where you guys can ask questions, and then I'll be able to answer them based on probably what most people are asking, because if you've got a question, I can guarantee you there's probably others that do as well. And that's another $500 value. Okay, this is Pick My Brain Day. I was going to give you guys another bonus, and I'm going to do this for the first 25 people that act. You're going to have access to a new training product that I'm going to be releasing end of October, first part of November or earlier. This is going to dive deep into advanced strategies on how to use LinkedIn Publisher. We won't have time to go through all of it, through all this training, so I'm going to give you guys access to this for free. How cool is that? Is that cool? We got anybody in there says, yeah, I like that?
Give it some time for it to ride. We're a little bit behind, you know.
Hey, you know, I'm a California girl. I'm like totally like, I need the answer right now. I'm so impatient. So impatient. Yeah, this product, I mean, I'm going to teach you guys cross-promotion strategies that nobody else will teach you when it comes to LinkedIn. So and this is where you're going to even further, you know, be able to position yourself as that authority, and leads will come. Leads will come. All right, so what you're going to get is week 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and access to my LinkedIn product. Now we're about $2,500 value here.
I love this. This audience is awesome, man.
What are they saying?
Brian and Scott, you guys are crazy. I love you guys.
They're just funny.
So I'm going to tell you what, if all this did for you was finally make your business profitable, would it be worth it? Would it be worth it if I helped you, give you a kick in the butt to finally get you moving? Would it be worth it? Tell me, how many programs out there have you purchased and then you didn't implement it? That drives me bananas when people do that. I will spend weeks coaching somebody and then they don't do the work.
Right.
You know?
Right.
I like testimonials like the next guy, right? Because that helps build my business, and it shows that I'm the expert in my industry. So this is going to help you, give you a kick in the butt and get you moving. And if it were only going to give you 1 to 3 high-paying clients per month, would it be worth it? What's an extra $1,000, $3,000, $10,000 a month? What would that do for your life? Could you, would it make an extra mortgage payment? What about pay a car bill? What about taking your family out on a nice outing? Would that be worth it to you? How much would you guys pay for this? What do you think? If it only gave you 1 high-ticket client per month, even at $1,000, I'm not going to charge you guys anywhere near that. But if it was just 1 client in the next 30 days or less, and all you had was a $1,000 service, would it be worth it? Can you all see why I'm being paid anywhere between $1,000 to $2,000? That's private coaching. I could ask for more, and I might someday, but I had to get started somewhere, right?
Exactly.
But you guys can see it's a pretty good deal, right? At $2,500. I thought about charging $997 for the general public. But you know what? I love you guys, and I love Bill and Lem, and I so love Bill for calling me when I was in the hospital, doped up, and said, hey, we'd like to do this with you. How about it? And I'm like, absolutely, 100%. Guess what, guys? There you go. $297 for 5 weeks of my time, 5 weeks of coaching, a product I'm selling for $300, and of course bonuses. Oh, guess what? I forgot about this. Look at that. For the first 10 people, this is invaluable. Once we've gone through some of the profile optimization for the first 10 people that purchase, I'm going to give you 30 minutes of my time for free to do a profile review with you and kind of help you tweak it. What's funny?
I'm reading all the comments.
What are they saying?
All
yes,
the Brian's.
Great.
Yes. Still is special. I know. I know.
Oh my gosh, I'm doing another bonus. Everybody's going to get this. I decided to do this at last second. So I created a private group, which ultimately I'm going to start charging for later this fall. And I'm going to charge $20 a month. So I need you guys to get in here. I can't be everywhere at once. So, for those of you who are really diving into LinkedIn and getting good at it, you can help other members out. That's why I created the group. Okay? You guys are all going to get in for free for life. All right. Hey, Bill, you want to put that link in the chat?
Yeah. And guys, let me just make sure we tell you guys. So when you register, there's not going to be anything in the setup in the site yet, because this is a live 5-week training webinar. So as the replays go in there, and then you're also, once you register, hold on. Yeah, let me type it in here for you guys. Okay, I just put the link in there for you. But yeah, it's linkedinlore.com/buy now. And basically, it's going to be your live 5-week training webinar. So when you register in the course, you're not going to see anything inside the site right now. But after you do your PayPal, you will see a link for you to be able to sign up and register for the site. And then all the replays and everything will be posted in there. They'll also be posted in the Facebook group. And then if you guys have any challenges, you can email us. And then the other thing also, there's 2 different emails. You can email Lem and I, or you can email Tracy. Some of you know our email, some of you don't. It's ignitionmnt@gmail.com. You can email me personally at bill@theclientcatcher.com, or you can email Tracy at, Tracy, which email would you like to give them?
Tracy@localhoopla.com.
Okay. So, but if you guys want to email any one of those, if you have a question or anything else, but other than that, everybody that registers, you'll get an email from us, about when the first webinar is going to be. We're looking at sometime next week. We're not sure when yet. So
Yeah,
we'll
the last week in September, first week in October.
Yes.
So week after next.
But if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask right now. Otherwise, we'll let you guys go because it's been an hour and a half. So, Lem?
Show the link, Bill. I think they're saying show the link. Make sure you put an HTTP so they can click on it. Otherwise, right now, you're going to have to copy paste it, I believe, the way he has it in there, which is not a big deal because you guys are smart and brilliant. But for those who need a little help, we're here to help everyone. So I guess post that as an HTTP, then the word so they can click on it, Bill. For those of you guys that have stayed with us, thank you so much. You got to understand.
Wait,
yeah, I know we ain't going anywhere yet. We're not going anywhere yet.
I was going to say, because we got 2 things left to do.
Right, exactly. I was about to remind everybody, but we have 2 more things for you guys. And think about this. There's a lot of different sources out there as far as different social platforms, but this right here is the key because no one really knows what's going on with the LinkedIn right now. There's a lot of changes, and it's great to have Tracy in your back pocket as a secret weapon because she is living and breathing this all day long, and there's nothing like having a source like this. Imagine this, guys. When you're being a part of this group, if you have a client that is needing your help and is wanting to do something special or actually fly you out to do some type of training, guess what? You're in a group right now that is you have available resources that's going to help you go to the next level. So that is something that you're getting right now. There's no need to be afraid because you have the support from us, and we're here to support you and to get you to going. Like she said, there's nothing like hearing testimonies from her and helping you out. So go ahead, Tracy, and give those last 2 points there, and we'll start thinking about the next round here.
Okay, well, the point, and then we got to pick a winner. So, Bill, I'll have you pick a winner. But
okay.
Remember I told you about this, another secret weapon in your LinkedIn profile that people don't think is they don't even know that it even existed, you know. So what we used to do in our profile when we had, like, let's say you have a company that has more than one service, okay, or you actually had really great clients and you wanted to use it as a case study, what we would do is the advanced strategy at the time, and I've done it in mine, is I've gone in and put in my experience section 2 different experiences. So I do LinkedIn marketing, business development, blah, 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 right? But we also do book creation, marketing, podcasting. We also do that too. And I couldn't, effectively do that in 2,000 characters, okay? Because I really wanted to say a little bit more. So that's how he did that. But I've seen people where it just runs and runs and runs and runs, and it's good if somebody wants to take the time to read all that, especially if you have some really good case studies in there, if your clients allow you to do that, because it really showcases, you took a client with this certain pain point, and this is where they started, and this is where they ended. It's an excellent way in LinkedIn, and I'd still say do that, but there's a better place for that. It's called projects.
Absolutely.
And projects is right here, and I'm so glad that LinkedIn added this, because when you first started with projects, you couldn't add in anything else in here. Actually, let's go in here and do this. So I don't have links for that, but I do have some other links. Let's see, I did this with Lem, and I think it's, yeah, okay, so what you're allowed to do now is check this out. So now instead of just telling somebody that you did this project, if you've got, if it's online somewhere, you can add a project URL. You can add a link to your YouTube video, an interview that you did, a podcast, whatever it is, and then a description. Remember we talked about keywords? Add your keywords. You know what? I didn't even add my keyword in here, but I did up here what my occupation was. I should go back in and take my own recommendation and say I did a fun and on a Google Hangout. I should have said LinkedIn interview, and I'll probably go in and change that. It's another place to add in a keyword conversationally, and it's another little place because it'll help your profile visibility later on. That's the last, that was that section number 6 that nobody really utilizes or knows about how powerful that is.
And go ahead and push that out again if you don't mind. I really don't mind. I mean, just go ahead and do that.
And guys, this I'm telling you what, Lemon Bill, I have this Saturday morning podcast with a hangout, and I had the pleasure of being on one Saturday morning. And you know what? Lem puts a smile on my face every time anyway, but I couldn't believe how chipper that guy was, how early in the morning. He got me going. It was a lot of fun, and to tell you the truth, the information is great. You guys just need to go and get on there and do it. It's awesome.
Yes.
See, I did my headline, LinkedIn Expert Interview. I should have put that in my description as well. So even I mess up sometimes, and I always improve my profile. If I see something that I need to go tweak, I do. It takes me a couple minutes.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that.
Tracy, Deb asked about what about selling clients that sell a product versus a service?
Okay, absolutely. Does this product help solve an issue, a pain point? Is it a solution to a pain? We're consumers. We buy products, right?
Yep.
You know, so we don't just buy services. We buy products as well, and it's usually because it'll satisfy a need, a want, or a pain point. So absolutely, there is a way to do it, and we will be talking about that as well during the training. Any other questions?
I don't see any yet.
Deb, that was a great question, Deb. On my profile, Deb, I am connected with a few people. I do executive product creation, so people will see that who have a product, and so that is to answer your question. Yes, that's possible. Guys, you know, this is great information that we have here that is at your disposal here. You think about it. You know, you can go check out other profiles and see where people are missing, and you can see why they're getting bypassed because they simply don't have it in the right way or category, and they are not being seen as on Google as well when you put in your information the correct way. So you can see the difference, and this is why Tracy's has been selected by many Fortune 500 companies to come in and help, you know, get her to help them out. And this could be you as well. You know, you think about it. You don't know what you know. Now you know exactly what to do. So this is a great platform to start instead of trying to deal with the other ones. So go ahead and buy that. Get you know, connected to the link right now. It's in the chat group. If you're just joining us on the replay, the link is linkedinlure.com//buy now. This right now is something that I know is going to help those who want to be an authority with LinkedIn. Tracy, you want to add any more thing else to this? Because this has been amazing for the last hour or so.
I'm going to lose my voice if I don't stop talking. No, I do want, Bill, I want you to go ahead and go through our list of attendees, and please select a lucky person that's going to get 10 minutes, or 10 minutes, 30 minutes, or an hour. Wow, I forgot. A whole 60 minutes of my time.
All right, this is what we do, Bill. This is how you select them, okay? Here we go. This is going to be the person, the lucky person, so you have to listen really well, all right? I'm about to trick you. So if YES spells yes, what does EYES spell? Go. We're waiting. Who's going to be the lucky person? Who is going to be it?
What?
We're waiting.
I feel like a cow looking at a new fence right now. Actually, it's even worse. I feel like a cow on AstroTurf.
Oh, AstroTurf. And we're not getting anyone on that one.
I'm waiting. I didn't see anything yet.
Yeah, I'm not either.
I don't see anything in chat either.
They're like going,
It's a
huh?
little delayed, so.
Yeah, it's a little delayed. That's okay, but it'll come through. Someone's going to have it. Maybe we're going to have to pick just somewhere because that one went over their head.
Thanks, Brian, for saying I've got mad PowerPoint skills. Well, you don't know how long I worked on that PowerPoint. Oh, my gosh.
What did Brian write there, Bill?
Yeah,
No, people. Oh, my gosh. Yeah. All right, Bill, just select somebody. What was that? I can't really tell. Oh, well. Anyway, that was a trick question, and the answer was eyes, people. You can use that later, but no one figured that out. So we're going to randomly pick. Go ahead and randomly pick someone, Bill, since everyone is kind of lost on that.
I don't know. We need to figure out a question. I don't want to just pick somebody. How about
Okay. Let's see here. What can we do? Let's see here. How many we have here? I'm just going to go down, and I'm going to click on my mouse, and I'm going to stop at 1, my eyes closed, and boom. So the lucky person that gets this, Bill, and I've got it here, and it actually landed on Deb. Whoever Deb is, I don't know Deb, but Deb, you're the lucky person here. Deb, if you're still in the group, please say, yes, I am here. I want to claim my free token from for Tracy. Let's see.
Okay.
Oh, she's still
here. Say, Bill, can you get her email address?
Yep.
Oh, yes.
And I'll shoot you out an email, Deb, and we'll get together and find out what works for both of us next week.
Got it. Awesome. All right, guys. So I believe that is all we have for you today. Go ahead and hit that link. Get started right now. Get yourself your spot because I'm sure that we're going to be doing this with other people as well. And you want to make sure that you are part of this because this is something you don't want to miss out on. I know you're probably doing the same thing over and over again, but you've probably been getting the same results. Now with LinkedIn, this is something that we know that Tracy is the queen of. I've seen a lot of LinkedIn products going on, and they've, like Bill said in the beginning, it doesn't really help you get your leads. But this right now, people are going to look at you as an authority. So this is what you want to do when it comes to having your LinkedIn profile corrected. So with that being said, on behalf of Bill and Tracy, I guess we're going to end it now unless there's any more questions from anyone. Bill, is there any more questions?
I see one from Steven, but I don't understand it.
Okay.
There's one problem, one solution profile, like the theater guy, better to land clients and appear like a jack of all trades.
True.
Yeah.
Okay, so yes, and at the same time, let me share with you LinkedIn's terms of service. That means if you have more than one personal profile and they find out, they'll try to merge them, and if you won't merge them, they will shut down your profile. This happened to a really good friend of mine, and they shut down his profile that had the most activity.
Oh, wow.
Right. He had asked me about it before he did it, and I said, I don't recommend doing that, but you're going to do what you want to do anyway, and boom. About a year later, I got a phone call. Guess what? Okay.
Well, that brings up a question. Do they go off the IP address that you have connected to that profile?
No, you know what? Don't ask me how they find out. They're really good at a lot of stuff.
Right, because I believe that would be the only way, and that scares me because I have another profile out there that I need to get rid of, like, today, now. You know?
I'm just saying, you know, you may get away with it for a while, but it's only a matter of time.
Right.
No, I mean, honestly, I had 2 profiles, and I didn't know I did because when people first started on LinkedIn, you got invited by email. So if somebody had 2 different emails, I created and intentionally 2 different accounts. So I didn't realize it till later. And then, so LinkedIn helped me shut down one account and then transfer over all my connections from one to the other.
Got it.
That's what they did for me anyway. No.
All right. So we're giving 4 weeks of immersions here of great content. You guys are going to learn from the beginning to not the end, because LinkedIn, there's a lot to go by. But if you're still connected with the group and you're getting the information that we're providing, then you're going to be okay. So guys, get started right now. Don't wait. Don't think about, oh, maybe this is going to work. Maybe it's not going to work. You never know until you take risk, a business risk. And this is why you're here, because you need something to get you going. And I know with Tracy's help on LinkedIn, not a lot of people out there are monetizing on this. So this is a great time to shine. So with that being said, guys, we're going to close right now. Thank you. If you have any questions, I guess you can contact Bill at that email address that he sent out. Or Tracy, go ahead.
I got it. You mean for Deb?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. I got it.
Awesome. Great. Let's see. What is that? What did Deb say? Is she okay? Bill, what does that say?
Yeah, she's good.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, that's something completely different. You're able to manage other people's profiles. Yeah.
Good. All right. Well, that's it, guys. Thank you. Go to that buy button. Get it in right now, because we're gonna have some great stuff waiting for you. This was part of what she has planned for you, but you never know with Tracy, because she's feeling generous these days. So you might as well get on the good foot now. LinkedInlord.com/buy now, guys. Go get it. Thank you guys for joining us, and for those who are watching the replay, get in soon, because there might be a price raise, and we didn't get to mention that earlier. So I totally forgot about that. So get that right now, and we'll see you guys next time.
See ya.
I'm out. Tracy, I'm out. Awesome.